Hey, fat fish heads! It's time for another edition of the hottest new podcast on all platforms, Fat Fish. Sit back and strap yourself in for the wildest ride on the open seas. Now, flap your fins for the fabulous Fat Fish brothers, Eric Fish Snyder and Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.
Number 61. That was good. Can I ask you a question? You look fantastic. Did you get a tan?
Yeah. Well, yes. We both love our dogs. You, Annie, myself,
Yeah.
Molly.
Uh-huh.
And I got to walk the dog now very early because it gets so hot in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And yes, thank you very much. It'll be 100 degrees today. So
Wow.
The sun hits you when you walk your dog. That's how I get my tan.
Beautiful. Do you put some sunscreen on?
I do.
Good.
I'm a very, very cognizant of that.
Good.
Because, and as we have all our philanthropy with Molly's Challenge and Nick Pasquale and wishing Keith well, please, everybody, if you grew up in Los Angeles like Brad and I did and you're out in the sun, go get screened by a dermatologist when you hit 45, please. Yeah. What is that, 70?
Yeah. It smells good, and the ladies love it on my body.
So, before we bring our guest on today, in rehearsal, you and I were talking about what dog park you go to.
Is that what you call it?
Well, we're just chopping it up. Two friends chopping up. We're going to talk about
friends. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and we are friends.
I know,
great friends. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I get these great pics that Brad sends me of him and Annie at a dog park. So I said, "Where's the dog park?" He goes, "Bundy and Ocean Avenue." I know the area really, really well. Santa Monica, very affluent area. Do you walk around with that sunscreen and give it to all the girls? I know it's a great place to pick up women is at a dog park. I know your ulterior motive. So do you carry that 70, whatever it is? What is it?
I walk
Banto
around.
Soleil?
Yeah, I walk around and I ask, "Would you like some sunscreen?" And then I rub it on their shoulders, and then I rub it on the sides, and then I rub myself in the bathroom. No, I tell you something. The girls.
There's a bathroom at the dog park?
I use the doggy park. No, no, it's true. You got to put sunscreen on, and I bring it with me. And if there's any of the ladies who need it, I'm there to oblige. I'm a people person.
You are.
Yeah.
Well, part of life, and you and I gamble every day. You gamble when you wake up. Please let today be another great day, and gamble at the same tomorrow. I found a guy when I was bartending at Chuck's that has a podcast called the Game of Winning Podcast named John Hardison. Think of James Harden, right? Someone did the basketball.
Hardline, Hardison.
John Hardison. And I did probably, when I had another podcast, probably 30, 35 podcasts with this guy. And every NFL season, he hit between 68 and 70% on the games, Brad, and the prop bets.
Wow.
So he has a podcast that does very well on Spotify. Let's bring him in. Everyone say hello to Mr. John Hardison, as we like to refer to him.
Hey, John.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing today?
We're doing well, buddy. We woke up and we have you as a guest, so we're ahead of the game, baby.
Hey, there we go. Just win, baby, as Al said. And that's what we're trying to do.
I love this guy. Love this guy. Hey, I haven't got your old moniker on there. We used to call him this because his nickname is the Hardline. There he is.
All right.
And now that was Brad's porno name when he did porno back in the 70s and 80s. The Hardline. You are the Hardline, man. It's so good to see you.
Line. What are you talking about? A fat line.
Oh, it's great. So off the bat, I want to jump on you. Over under, because he's really good at prop bets. Over under. Now you watched the Tom Brady roast, did you not?
I did.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
I know Brad, we talked about it in a podcast. Brad, you jump in any time with where I'm going here. He got killed with the Giselle jokes, and Giselle's doing this guy and that guy, and Antonio Brown lived with them, and all the influences there. Over and under 50. How many women Tom Brady has banged since he's divorced Giselle? And you're always right. Over under 50.
Oh,
over?
easily over 50. I mean, he's made his run through Las Vegas as part owner of the Raiders. He's made his run on every other island that he could find. I mean, look, the guy's running it up as much as he can. He looks like he does, and he's getting the extra money from Fox coming up soon with him making him lead anchor. He's winning. No matter what he's doing, he's winning at life. I mean, he's the type of guy where you just sit there and you say, if God shines on anyone, it's got to be this guy, because look at all the luck that he has.
Yeah,
That's true. But, listen, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Everybody's got issues. People got problems. But for Tommy Boy, I think he's doing pretty good. As Larry David would say on Curb Your Enthusiasm, pretty good. Let me say.
you should have seen him,
Hey.
Hardison. He was here, Brad, because he's so immersed in Vegas with the he owns part of the Las Vegas Aces, the WNBA team, and the girls. These girls are half the team. All these girls are gorgeous, and how is he in the ring ceremony to raise the flag for their championship? And the girls are looking at him like we used to look at Farrah Fawcett Majors, or when we were kids, or young
Heather
girls look at
Thomas.
Brad Pitt. It's insane the amount of the ambiance he has around him. Over under 50, bet the over, right?
I'm easily taking the over on that. There's not even a question.
Mr. Hardline, I got a question for you. How did it all start for you, buddy, in the business of handicapping?
I've always been in the sports betting for as long as I can remember, just always looking at the numbers. And even, you have certain people on, on different stations that would always kind of let something slip, even though it was a oops, but it really wasn't an oops to let everybody kind of know where we're at. As soon as I got to Las Vegas and I got 21, started looking at the numbers, hanging around the books, some of the older guys. You got to get there early in the morning to get the real good information, real juice. I started off with baseball, did okay starting off, but I was like, man, there's so much to baseball, whether it's weather, pitching, the mound, the stadium, was too much. Transitioned over to football, start looking at it. I was like, okay, there's a couple games a week, kind of the way that they schedule it out, and just took off from there.
Wow. How old were you when you started?
So 21 is when I started. And that's when I started with the formal betting. And then, just slowly from there. And I knew I had something kind of going on when I used to go over to sports books. And for those that are in Vegas, you go to Sam's Town, Cannery, you try to go off the strip where you're not dealing with all the people that are there just for a good time. I used to wake up 6 a.m. on Saturdays before college football would start, go over to the books. So the real people that know gambling know you got to get to the book early because everybody's standing in line. And the worst thing that used to kill me was guys wouldn't know the numbers. They would look up, Florida State. You got to know the numbers. When you go in, you got to be efficient. And so I used to watch some of the older guys. They would run down numbers like they were calculators and be like, okay, this is what I want, and I'm out. And I said, that's what I want to get into.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the over-under on Fish being funny during this podcast? What's the over-under on that?
I'll take over-under 6.5. We'll give him 6.5 solid jokes.
There's a half. There's a half. Hey, it's so great to see you, man. Every time I see a fried shrimp basket go out of Chuck's, I think about you. As a matter of fact, we're going to call it the fried Hardison shrimp basket because
I'll take that.
Oh man, I miss you. But that being said, I mean, one thing Brad and I talk about, Brad, like yourself, Brad's the biggest NBA fan I've ever met. Right.
Okay.
And this whole situation with the Toronto Raptors, Jalen Porter, is that his name?
You're talking about Michael Porter Jr.'s brother?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
This concerns me. Now, you listen to every book in town right now. They're saying for the 7th game, bet your life on the Knicks against the Pacers. There's no way the Knicks don't move forward. So the same thing about the Lakers in the playing game. What concerns me about the Michael Porter's brother, and I think his name is, I know he played with the Raptors, and Brad and I talked about this at length. What he bet on is prop bets. And the over-under was 12 rebounds. And he bet with some people, I'm going to get the under. And he did. He got 11. Okay. How do you stop this? How do you handicap something like that? And it's just something we're gonna have to live with. That this is the great way to really fix the sport is by prop bets.
Well, first off, I think the NBA did a magnificent job of when it was, when they caught it, of banning him from the game. especially with how many endorsements they have with all these different sports books, be it DraftKings, be it FanDuel. It can rub people the wrong way first and foremost. So I think that they got it. As always, the person that catches it earliest is the book. If there's too much money or too much going on a specific player or game, the book usually sees something and they kind of say, that's a little bit funny. We'll go back to, I remember University of Toledo, there was a lot of money back in maybe mid 2000s where people were betting them. And the book said, reached out to the NCAA and said, hey, something's not right. We don't get this much money on a school like Toledo. You want to do some investigation? Found out that, they were trying to, take advantage of the book. So I think that the NBA did the right thing. I don't think that this is something that you're going to deal with most often, especially because of how much money the NBA generates from these different books. I think that it's an unfortunate situation that happened. But this guy, I mean, he's done. No one's going to take a chance on him anymore. I mean, he might be able to play in like far, Eastern Europe block if he's lucky, but I don't think the NBA has really much to worry about regarding this. I do give people credit for the fact that he pulled himself out of games. Now that's pretty impressive, the way that he did it, where he would get maybe 4 rebounds and then say, oh, I hurt my Achilles or something, and then walk off the game. Now that's pretty impressive that he pulled that off for a certain amount of time before somebody caught that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let everybody know this is podcast, Fat Fish podcast number 61. And our guest is James Hardline Hardison.
John.
Let me ask you, whatever. Tells me your name, then he changes your name. John, let me ask you a question. Do you do this do you have a business where you handicap and you give it out to other guys who gamble?
I just do this for the love of it. I love just going through gambling, going through the numbers, going over everything and seeing what we can do. I give this to the people, man. The people, these are for the fans, the diehard fans that watch this podcast. These are for the diehard fans that are really involved in it and want to see it. I always say this about the book and even this is a mathematician's wet dream. I mean, I swear, you're just going through numbers all day, statistics, probability. And if you're that type of guy and you want to win, come lock in with us. We're trying to get you the money, the green. We're trying to get you a way to get to the Super Bowl on your own dime, baby.
I love it. Do you know Ryan Bender? He is also a handicapper, really nice guy like yourself. I mean, there's some real scumbags. Fish and I have talked about this. Vegas Dave, this fuck. Oh my God, he's a con man, right? Right, Fish? This guy is such a con man. I mean, he always wins, like 100%. Right? Come on.
Yeah, and you know what? This is true in LA where Brad is right now. How come every time you see these guys advertised, they always have New York accents? Every single one. All right, this is Vegas Dave. We want the odds on the New York Giants over unders this year. 100%. Yeah. Every single guy's got a New York accent, and they probably all live in Iowa. I mean, it's crazy.
You got to be very careful because, John, there's so many guys who they advertise, oh, we got 70-80%, but they'll just give you one side to one group and another side to another group. And then, of course, one of the sides is going to win. It's a 50-50 split. And then that's how they promote their business. But it's just terrible because a lot of these guys, they're just a big fat con. It's terrible.
I just tell people, man, like if you're in this business and you're honest with it, you got to be able to show your losses too. I mean, not everything's going to be a win. And I think that's the biggest thing is you got to own your losses. And sometimes, they come in hard, especially we're talking about football, basketball. Football, everything could be going your way and somebody goes down in the second quarter or, third quarter and what you had bet was right on, but you lost. That those things happen. Especially, we talk about like the Cincinnati Bengals. They were riding along. Last year, I had them winning the AFC North. Who would have thought? Joe Burrow goes down and look what happens. It just one moment you got to show those losses. Sometimes just eat it.
That's John Hardison of the Game of Winning podcast. You can catch him on Spotify and Amazon. I remember that when we did podcasts, we have this segment called The Hardline. And John will go through 4 college football games and 4 pro games. You wouldn't believe my phone on Saturday. Let's say he had Texas A&M -7 against Missouri, right? And he takes Texas, and Missouri scores a touchdown. He starts, how the fuck did they do that? You see that call? I don't know why. You must have like a NASA studio in your house watching every single game. But I like the fact that you took it personal because I just said you were 68% on NFL games for the 2 years I
I
did this.
leave.
You were amazing. People walk in the shuts and go, "What does Hardline want?" And I said, "Well, watch a podcast."
I got screens on screens in my house. So Sunday, so let's say Saturday, I have like 3, 4 different screens going on. I got picture in picture in them, and I'm jumping between them all, and I'm looking at everything. And then on Sundays, I've got Red Zone up, and then I've got NFL Sunday Ticket up, and I've got it all going in there. And I'm looking at numbers, and I'm looking at guys, whether it's fantasy, whether it's prop bet, just kind of seeing where people are. And depending on the matchup, I'm like, all right, look, we talked about it last year. I told you, I looking at the Saints, I was like, I'm a little shaky on Derek Carr. I know he left Vegas and he went there, and everybody thought this magical reunion was going to happen with him and Dennis Allen. And I said, if I know one thing after watching the Raiders and Derek Carr, it was like he's going to do the same shit over and over again. And watch, he did the same shit over and over.
Yeah, but you picked, so you bring that out. But I remember they were over under 8.5 wins, and they won 9. So you actually won that.
Yeah, I won it. I told you I didn't think they were going to do much of shit else.
Well, you didn't like the guy, but you picked him to go over 8.5 wins. And so, what's your take on this? There's the billion dollar industry of sports gambling, which is one of the biggest things there is in America. Are you into the fantasy football leagues and the last man standings and the FanDuels and the DraftKings, which is taking legitimate dollars away from the casinos and guys and guys that book? Do you think that's a fad, or is it going to continue to grow?
It's only going to continue to grow. You got to think about this. Not everybody has access to sports books like, we do in Vegas, or some of the other states that are out there right now. It's growing, but I think that's there. But I think it's an easy way to get people hooked. I mean, if you look at Sundays, back when I was growing up as a kid and you guys were growing up as a kid, you rooted for your favorite team to win. You didn't care at what cost. You wanted your team to win. Now you're more looking at whoever it is, even if it's against your team, for that guy to give you, the leg up in the championship or to get you into the championship in terms of fantasy football. We're at a point now where, and I give these organizations a lot of credit, you've now woven these fans into the fabric of the game where now they're more invested than ever. I mean, TV ratings through the NFL are through the roof, year in and year out. And it's only going to keep getting bigger and better. Now, do I like the last man standing competitions? No. I think 90 something percent of those guys are just throwing money away, just burning it. I'm not a big fan of those. But, look, I think that FanDuel, the DraftKings, some of these other ones was Prize Picks. I think they do a good job of luring people in, especially during the football season. If that's when you're going to get the most free bets, that's when you're going to get the most, no sweat bet opportunities, and people are going to keep going for them.
Right. Yeah. You know what, Brad?
What's your favorite team? What's your favorite team, John?
Me, I'm a diehard Detroit Lions fan, born and raised.
Oh, so what happened? I mean, they've been so close. I love the coach, but he's made some blundering decisions at the end of games. Oh man,
I love Big Dan.
This year, it could be their year this year.
I love Big Dan. I think that he's an amazing coach. I think he should have won Coach of the Year last year. You took a team that when you first got there, they won 3 games the first season, and every year it's been significant growth, even to this year making the NFC Championship game. With that being said, you got to go for the win in the NFC Championship game. You can't always be gutsy, and I know we rolled the dice on a lot of games, especially the Dallas game. We rolled the dice on that, and then the NFC Championship game. You can't always go for it on 4th down. Sometimes you just got to take the points, take what the defense gives you and play on, and have trust in your defense. I mean, we've played very well throughout the entire year. You just got to rely on them. And so, look, you get these situations that certain coaches that have never been in it have to deal with and learn, and it's growing pains. Every great coach goes through it. And to give credit to Dan Campbell, he coached against a guy that, Kyle Shanahan's now been to maybe 3 to 5 NFC Championship games. He's comfortable in those situations and making the right decision. So it's just time and practice and repetition.
You see that, Fish, did you see the contract that Jared Goff signed, the extension? Wow.
Market.
Jesus. Wow.
Wait till Tua comes up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Carr was the highest paid quarterback in 2017. And then Dak signed a contract. And then, Herbert, it's all these guys it's 1 million over the next guy. But I'll tell you something. If you gamble, Brad and I are drinking this thing called Cloud Water, which supports immunity and gut health. We have to get you some of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a case of this because not only is it a great product, but it does. It supports immunity and gut health. And that's one thing that gambling does to you. It tears away your gut. I disagree with Dan Campbell being coach of the year. Okay. I liked what he did, but they were a decent team the year before at 9-8. I thought Kevin Stefanski did something I've never seen before in NFL history. The coach of the Cleveland Browns, he won games with four different quarterbacks. I can name them: Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Deshaun Watson, PJ Walker. Then Joe Flacco's on the couch. Give me a prop bet on that. If you're a book, you're a prop bet. Joe Flacco's teaching history, and he gets a call on his couch, and then he goes in and wins 5 or 6 games and takes them to the playoffs. That's like a Rudy type movie.
Crazy.
It's unheard of. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's normal. It's not. By far, it's not. And I think Kevin Stefanski is a great coach. But what I also would say is that team should have overachieved overall with all the pieces that it have. I mean, look, Fish, we talked about the Browns being a terrible organization for years. In the last 3-4 years, they put significant money into the valuable positions that are there. So if you look at that roster, they should exceed. Now, unfortunately, Watson went down, but let's also be honest. Watson wasn't having the best season ever either.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the tough thing about the NFL. Is I love what Dan Campbell said. I love the transparency and the honesty, Brad. He said, he got the podium and said, you might not never get here again. Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl in his first full year. And he said, you know what? I plan on being this many, many years. He went to the playoffs 10 straight times and never made the Super Bowl again. So That sport is really tough. All right, I'm going to change gears on you a little bit. Just going to get a little controversy. I know you do this. We talked about that. We're in election year, right? I want you to handicap the election between what do you call him? Dr. Donald Lumpy Trumpy?
Yeah, Uncle Lumpy Trumpy.
Uncle Lumpy Trumpy and Joe Biden. I mean, I see what the polls are right now. If you had to handicap this right now with basically 5 months to go, where do you see this going? Give me over under 300. Who wins?
Oof. I don't think anybody's like truly happy in this situation, but I'll take Biden minus 140. I'll take Trump minus 135. I think it's that close.
Yeah,
I think
I
think it's that close. I think no one is truly happy, but I think everybody's just kind of like, at this point, it's going to be one of the two. Either you stick with the guy that you already got, or you go back to what you had 4 years ago. Right. I think everybody's just trying to figure out in the Midwestern states, maybe Trump's got a little bit of a lead. I think in the Western states, I think maybe Biden's got a little bit. But neither person is super happy. I think the country is more happy once we get past these 4 years and we get somebody else that we could say, I'm interested in figuring out this person.
Amen. I think that here's my take. I believe, a basketball analogy, Biden hits a 3-pointer at the buzzer to beat him. And then that's a 2-time loser. Uncle Lumpy Trumpy, we'll see you later. We'll never see you again. Goodbye. But he's going to do the witch hunt, recount, all that bullshit. And wait till these two debates. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be the greatest show on earth. Oh, my. I can't wait.
If you had to handicap them in an in a WWE situation, you put them in a steel cage match, what would be your odds on that between Biden? 4 years ago, Biden would knock Trump out in the first round. I don't know anymore as far as the physicality. I mean, Trump seems to have lost a little bit of charisma, and Joe's doing the best he can. But, Jill, stop talking to the media and blowing my bet and saying, oh, my husband, he gets woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day with talks about Israel and Ukraine. He knew what this fucking job was when he took it, right? It's the toughest job on the planet. It really is. It's the most stressful job, other than doing this podcast at Grumbury. But that's.
Have you seen every president, Fish, that comes out? You do the before and after picture, and it looks like they've had like 1,000 volts of electricity just shot through them.
Look at Obama.
There you go.
It takes so much out of you. It's such a thankless job, John. It just ages you. Obama's one of my favorite presidents of all time, probably my favorite of all time. And look at him.
Yep.
He's great. He's oh man. And then Biden walking off the presidential helicopter. My 90-year-old grandma, Helen Annie Klein, walked better than him. Hey, hey, John, what do we got here? This is unbelievable. And then, I mean, Harris, what has she done? They lock her away. I love her. Let her do something as the vice. I don't know.
She's fine. She's good.
What has she done?
Well,
What?
okay. I mean, the only real politician we're talking about of the three, we're down politics, is Biden. Trump wasn't a politician before he got in, and Kamala Harris was a very successful attorney general of the state of California. She's been around, but it's not about that anymore. It's like, look at Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy wanted Aaron Rodgers. I would have loved to hear his book on that, to be his vice presidential running mate. And what has Rodgers done? You know? All right, everybody, don't get inoculated, and the world's flat.
I never said I was vaccinated, Fish. I said I was inoculated. I told you.
I have a question for both of you. Aaron Rodgers, Dunzo, he's not coming back to do anything. Come on, man. That's a tough injury to come back from. And he's getting all that money. He's got to do something, but I think he's done. Both, when you're that age and these guys, these young kids, they want to come around left end and just clean your clock. You know that, right? These young guys want to hurt these quarterbacks, especially Aaron Rodgers with his big mouth. But do you think Aaron Rodgers will do anything for the Jets? What do you think?
I'll go first. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I do. I think they have a number 7 They won 7 games with a top 7 defense and 0 quarterbacks last year, Hardison. And I talked about this. Zach Wilson, and who was the other guy they played? I forgot. It was just Trevor Siemian. I mean, Rodgers got knocked out 4 plays into the season. They're a 10-11 win team. All the people, they got Tyron Smith from the Cowboys. They had a great draft. You got Sauce Gardner, Garrett Williams, Quinnen Williams. You got Breece Hall. I think if he manages the game, he just manages the game, Aaron Rodgers. They're a 10-win team. Over under 10 wins, Hardline. Jets.
You go under 10. I think they're under 10. I think that they're a good defensive team. Offensively, it's the Jets. And no matter who's at the helm, and look, I think Rodgers, he's still recovering back from it. I think they're still trying to force that team to be the team of this year. I mean, look how many primetime games they gave them. And what did the head of ESPN say? They owe us one. They owe us some primetime games that they need to be. Look, they've got to go down and they've got to beat Miami. I still think New England's, and they've got to go to Buffalo. I'm just not sold that Aaron Rodgers is going to be that guy that's going to take this franchise to the next level, or like an AFC championship game. I think he'd be all right. I think you get about 9 wins out of it, and you call it a day.
And by the way, he was great on Hard Knocks. He was good, don't you think? I saw another personality I never knew about, how he's kind of charming and he's funny. I like to hear what these guys say to each other. It's so funny, by the way. It's so funny. Like, by the way, me and Fish and I, we love the Raiders. What is your take on the Raiders this year?
So I think they got the right guy as their head coach. I think that now I hate saying the phrase, like, it's a weird limbo state, but feels like it's like a partial rebuild, but it's not completely tearing everything down. I was a little sad in the draft that they didn't get a quarterback that fell to them. I was hoping for maybe someone like a Michael Penix. I know Jayden Daniels, they were looking at for a long time as somebody that they could probably bring in. I know Gardner Minshew right now is just a filler, but we'll see. This year, I hope that it is a heavy quarterback draft yet again so that they could get there. My concern is running back, and that's really with the loss of Jacobs. I'm not sure how this is going to work this year. I hope that they sneak in the back way of the playoffs. I don't think that they're going to take the division. I got Kansas City winning the division. They're just too electric, too good, and they've got arguably a Mount Rushmore quarterback right now, still slinging that ball around and in the prime of his career.
Okay, I got a question for both of you, and maybe because there's 4 major sports: basketball, hockey, baseball, and football. Every sportsbook director that I talk to, and I see a lot of them, they cannot increase the book for NBA, college basketball, or National Hockey League. Do you have any ideas on how to do that? Because people like to gamble, but look, If you were walking to a casino, Brad, on a Sunday morning when you come up here this summer, when you come up and stay with me this fall, we'll go over to Santa Fe. The lines are 100 deep. Hardison knows this, just to make
Yep.
bets for the 10 o'clock games on the West Coast. You walk in on any time now, you walk right up to a window. How do you increase the culture, and how do you increase the commerce? Is the better word of NBA and NHL are just not there.
So I think when we first started this podcast today, I think the idea was you look at what some of these digital sports books do really well, which is you got to give free play and you got to give people some money and entice them to want to jump in and to go in and to bet these games. I think with the NBA, once you get to the finals, you'll start seeing the bets pick up a little bit more. Hockey, I think you'll start seeing it pick up a little bit more as well. Baseball is a hard one, man. Like baseball, because there's so many games in the season, somebody could take 2-3 games off where you're betting and it doesn't really affect them. And that's the hard part. We've talked about this before in the past, Fish. I'm in favor of shortening the season of baseball games, make them more worth something. You know, look, I'm the oddball, and you and I have had this argument multiple times. Even the All-Star game, go back to determines home field advantage. I think that makes people play harder. I think that it makes people want to bet more on the game. Now you got All-Star games, people putting up 200, 300, 400 points overall. What does it matter? What does it matter? There's no point of me investing money into a guy that may show up, may not show up, may want to be here, don't want to be here. It's not worth it. That's the hard part about trying to increase it. There's too many games.
What is your favorite casino sports book in Vegas, sir?
Ooh, best sports book in Vegas. You know what? I'll go with I really like Circus Sportsbook. I give them a lot of credit. It's a beautiful sports book. They took their time. They curated it very well. I think that they did an amazing job setting it up. But I love that. Also, I'll give Caesar's Palace their credit as well because they were ahead of their time for a very long time.
Hands down. You missed
Caesars?
one.
Wait, what did you say? Fish? Caesars?
No, Westgate. The Westgate. He'll
Yeah,
nod his
Westgate.
head. See, the Westgate.
Super
You
Bowl.
really hear guys on ESPN quote the Westgate. They're the ones that set the over and unders, and they're not. The Circa's gorgeous. It's a Circa. I've never seen a sports book like it in my life ever. It's got pools. It's got hookers. It's got strippers. Everyone walking around. Brad, you should live there.
Hookers. What's a hooker?
What? Oh,
what's a
over
hooker
and
in a
under.
buffet?
Over under. All right. I'm at 4 funny things. I got 2.5 to go. This is number 5.
No, yeah.
Over under. How many hookers has Brad had in his life? Over under 15.
Let me explain something to you, Fish. About
No. Yeah, you're not the expert here. Now, shut up. Stop it.
No.
Silence.
I'm going to tell you a story about me and John. If John and I walk into Hometown Buffet, let me tell you something. It's not going to be pretty for Hometown Buffet, okay?
Don't change the subject. We're talking about a different kind of eating. We're talking about hookers right now.
I like John. John's a handsome guy. He brings the ladies to us. Oh. We go over to the buffet. It's a done deal. Come on now. How many hookers have I had?
I'm asking him over under 15.
You think I've had a lot of hookers, John?
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go under for you, Brad. I'll say it's under. It's under.
John, no.
No, wait.
No, those Korean massage parlors. I have my picture at the door, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
frequent visitor card.
See those deli pictures behind Brad right there? They have them in every massage parlor in LA. If you go to Chinatown and those parts of Santa Monica, they have like the gift cards with Brad's face on it. You show you get 25% off because Grunny. He's a legend. Look anything. Entertainment wise, do you see the NFL is really good at marketing? Are you really into the Swiftie thing because the Kansas City's got 6 games and they've moved Kansas City games around her concerts that she had. It's a big concert tour, Brad, in the fall. And it's just coincidentally she can make every one of the Kansas City games on the day off of her thing and stuff like that. I'll make a comment.
I'm a Swiftie.
I know you're a Swiftie.
John, you like Swiftie?
I fucking hate that the NFL is doing this for her. This is the most obscene thing that I've seen. And granted, look, CBS ate off of it as much as they did. So did the NFL. And I know they're making a push for women. And I know they're making a push for moms. I know that's their number one demographic. God bless them, because moms do a lot of things for us. They buy a lot of things for us, and they don't even think, even the stupid shit that we ask for, mom seems to come up with it. I like a rabbit out of the hat. So thank you for all the moms and the previous Mother's Day. But the shit's got to stop. I mean, my God, this shit is ridiculous. Like, I'm looking at Taylor Swift. She's making googly eyes. We got the whole fucking cast of Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds. If you need an extra, call me as well. Look, this is just being ridiculous. We started off the first game of the season with Taylor Swift and ended the last game of the season with Taylor Swift. And you know what it was leading up to the Super Bowl? It wasn't, oh, is Pat Mahomes going to get it done? Oh, is Travis Kelce and them going to be, the dynamic duo of Batman and Robin? It was, can she fucking make it from Japan in time to Las Vegas to see him play at kickoff? And miraculously, like the Dark Knight comes in and saves the day at the end of the movie, she's in the bleachers, or she's in the stands cheering on her boyfriend. What a miraculous ending in the overtime, and she runs down. Get the fuck out of here. I am over this shit.
But you know that she brings a lot of women to the party. I mean, all these little girls, they love Taylor Swift. They now are watching NFL football. Oh, you don't think so?
Shit. I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Oh,
Brad, I love you to death, your family. If Taylor Swift dumped Travis Kelce and started dating you, and every time you're in a lift, she's with you, watch the stock of Lyft be higher than IBM or anything else. Any stock you can see on the NASDAQ go up, and every one of those Swifties would dump all the Travis Kelce jerseys. It's a fad, okay? You're not going to you have to like the NFL. You have to know the NFL. It's not about, I get it. It's great marketing tool, Hardison. You got to admit. It's great for it's so much money that the Chiefs have made in their jersey sales. I get that. It's a business, okay? But I promise you, she dumps Kelce, two things happen. It's the 17th guy she's dumped. There's a new country style song out about their relationship, and all those 50s are gone.
Let's go.
The backup would be you hook up Jalen Hurts with Kim Kardashian and then send the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
Oh, no.
No, Kardashian hooked up with Brady. That's one of your over-under 50s.
There you go. Well, it's the league. Everybody changes teams at some point.
Yeah, let's go around the horn. Does Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce go the distance? I say no, under. What do you think, John?
Well, I'm going no, not under. I give this another season that we play through, and then no, absolutely not.
Cynical fish. What do you say?
I say yes. I think they're going to be cast as Barbie too. Get rid of Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. And here comes Travis Kelce, who wants to get into acting, and she wants to get into acting. I see it happening. But can you imagine that? How many of those idiots to go watch that film? I didn't see the first Barbie, although I heard it was terrific.
Watch this, fish. There'll be a sit down this season, 20 minutes before the game between Harrison Buckner and Taylor Swift, so that her fans can go ahead and tell him how she felt. You know
what? Get me and Brad in the loop. What did he say that pissed off? What did he say? Was it commences for a Christian college? It's all in the news right now.
So it was a commencement, and essentially what he said was, hey, your greatest accomplishment isn't that you got this degree. It should be that you're a mother. And I think that women are wasting some of their time trying to get these degrees where they could be like a better mother at home, and just going down that route. Basically, as soon as he kept talking about it, the NFL just called their PR department and just started having them just type up as much as they could, just apologies.
Damage control.
Right. And then did he say something about the LGBT community, something like trans or something? He made some sort of remark. This guy he shouldn't have even been up there. What a buffoon. Right?
Idiot. Some people are backing him. Whoopi Goldberg backed him. Whoopi Goldberg went on the View and said, look, at least he's being honest. This is his true feelings. Okay.
Yeah.
We're in a culture right now where we can't say shit about anything. I could say hi to you and you want to sue me. He said hi to me. He was egregious. And I get it. Harrison Butker, by the way, is the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. What a fucking month they've had. 2 guys get busted for marijuana. Rasheed Rice is beating up guys in nightclubs and running people and starting accidents. You got this thing. It's not been a banner month for the Chiefs.
No, it has not. It was really, I don't even know what the hell the guy was doing, but yeah, the PR department was working overtime for John. John, you're right. They really were. How he's going to get out of this one, who knows? The
Kickers are expendable.
Yeah. That a woman can only be a mother. She can't have a career. She can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
She can't go to college. It's like a waste of time. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Just do me a favor. Just hit the practice field and start kicking. Okay?
Start kicking.
That's all you know. But, John, we have a segment on our show we want to run by you. Way back when little John H. was a little guy, what was your first job? Not gambling related. Just what was your first job? You worked at Carl's Jr. Where did you grow up? Where did you grow up?
First job was I actually worked as a student aide over the summer for a tutor/teacher at my school. And so I helped a lot of the younger kids, and they were like, "Oh, we're paying." I was like, "Ching ching," when you're a kid, and just setting up stuff, getting there early was a great experience because it taught me I really actually enjoy working with people. I didn't know at first. I was like, "Yeah, I'm good being on my own," and just building those relationships. It was actually really nice. It turned what I thought I wanted to do into something different.
That's nice. And where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Farmington Hills, which is a suburb of Detroit. It's about 20 minutes from Detroit.
A lot of my boys from college, ZBT fraternity at University of Arizona, are from Michigan.
Yep.
Bloomfield, Farmington, all that stuff. Great town. I've been there. Really cool. When I go back, I'm going to throw your name around, see where it gets me.
It'll get you far.
It will get me. You're a nice fucking guy. I like it.
You can catch the Fat Fish podcast on Facebook Live, YouTube, DBTV. Look at our banner, Roku, and Podbean for our listening outfits, soon to be on Spotify. Check out clips of Fat Fish now on TikTok, everybody. You'll see clips from this show on TikTok starting Monday. And thanks to Shucks Tavern and Johnny Cocktails Entertainment for supporting the two bozos that are on top of that handsome guy in the bottom. John, we want to bring you back during football season on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and we're going to use you again like I did. If we ever get this thing monetized, I'm going to pay you more money than I do Grumberg, because I don't care about hookers. I care about football. I hit the 6.5.
I care about In-N-Out Burgers. In-N-Out Burgers. Pay me in In-N-Out Burgers. Doubles, animal style.
I got you.
You got me.
I've got you.
Let me ask you this, guys. I've never had it, serious food-wise. What is an In-N-Out Burger animal style? Is that like chili on it, Brad?
No,
how's that
served? Secret sauce. There's
What's the secret sauce?
And onions. I'm sorry?
What's the secret sauce?
I don't know, but I don't care.
You don't know, but you say you're eating something, you don't know what's in it.
No. Oh, yeah. You're the health nut. I'm not. Okay. That's why we get along so well. John, what do you think coming back on our show, football season? Are you better college or pro?
Either or. We'll run it.
I think for our viewers, you come back right as the season starts in September, I believe, for college, and then soon after for NFL. Give us that one pick. Let's start the season off right with a Big John pick, and let's win some. Let's win some gelt. Let's win some money, baby. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Right.
Let's do it.
Better is whatever Hardline picks. Yeah. I'll go to the book and put 20 or 10 bucks on it so we can follow, because he crushed it on and it's funny. The other podcast we used to do, there was me and there was Hardline for a segment, and then there was another guy that that had a makeup artist and stuff like that. I mean, what do you think with the new guy in this thing, Hardline? He's not bad looking, but what do you? I mean, can you think he can cut a rug with us or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this guy. I love this guy.
Love this guy.
Do you like crack? Do you like crack? Crackenberger? He's a nice guy. He's a good handicapper, right? Crack?
Who is?
Crack. You guys don't know crack? He's a big.
Who's crack? I know what crack is. It's not a handicap, but it'll be a handicap if you get too much.
Great.
Crack.
You don't know? You guys don't know who he is?
No. Hardline, you know who crack is?
I don't know what crack is.
Game and Winning podcast, everybody. Spotify and Amazon. That's our competition. But listen, crack. We'll find out who crack is. I mean, I know who Beck is. I
Bill
know
Krakenberger. Bill. You guys don't know Krakenberger? Okay. It's a big time.
No.
He was on Action. He was on remember the show?
I was on John Orlando. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. John, did you watch Action on Showtime about sports gambling? It was unbelievable. They had like 5 guys that they followed. Crack was one of them. John,
No, not on Showtime.
You guys don't know any of that. All right. So we'll have to educate you on that stuff. John is my new best friend. You're out, Fish. I like John. John, are you single?
Ready married.
You're married.
I'm married.
God bless your beautiful wife. Can you go see a sick friend with me in LA or Vegas?
I'll bring them flowers and a cake.
Yeah. Okay.
We got to get them well soon.
I love your wife. Your wife can come with us. She can come with us strip club if she like.
Hey,
I want to breathe in the morning.
Oh, you want to breathe? John, I used to work at a female mud wrestling place in Hollywood. I was the MC, and I was around strippers, but they had bikinis. No nudity. Would you like to hear some of my spiel?
Absolutely, I would.
Strap yourself in because you're going for a ride. The bigger the bill, the bigger the thrill, the more money, the nicer the honey. The more greenery, the nicer the scenery. 7 nights a week, 365 days a year. The world famous Hollywood Tropicana. Fuck Disneyland. This is the fucking happiest place on earth, you motherfuckers. Drop the mic.
There we go.
My parents are proud.
How long did it take you to get it down during repetitions?
14 years. Yeah, my Jewish grandma came. My nanny came. She looked around. She goes, "Why are people spending so much money?" And then I got tipped from the girls, and I would go over her apartment, and she'd count the money. She loved it. Keep this job for you. But it was.
You know what he would have done? You know what Hardline would have done with your money?
Yeah.
Go bet the Lions -7 and then parlay into the Browns +3. Oh, this is great. Hey, Hardline, real quick. You remember the first time I met you? You're eating it with your wife, and we talked for an hour and a half about sports. And I said, "What a fucking saint this woman is." It's like your date night, and I ruined it. I said, "Wow." So that's what men do. Men get immersed in their sports talk, and it's just the whole world just caves around them. So thanks for coming on today, buddy. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Love you guys. Thank you for having me. You guys are amazing. If whatever you guys need, let me know. I'm there for you.
We're gonna get your picks. We're gonna bring you back on, John. You're a great guy, man. As my grandma would say, "Sei gesund." That means live and be well, buddy. We love you.
Thank you.
Get to Vegas soon.
And tell your wife.
Will do.
Tell your wife, thank you for getting you off the streets of love. Thank God. Jesus Christ. Take care, John.
John Hardison, game-winning podcast, everybody. Thanks, John.
Watch his body. Oh, what a guy. Perfect. Fish, you've done good. I love this guy.
Yeah.
We can make some money.
He knows everything. He handicapped. Yeah, I could say, what do you think about that? And he's right. He called. I met him before 20. He called the 20 election. He said, "I'm telling you right now, Trump hit the 3-pointer that you said that Biden's going to hit." Yeah. And he would talk to people and says, "Look, I'm handicapping this whole thing. This state, that state, the rust states that Hillary doesn't have." And this kid knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I know. So what a nice guy. And we'll get his picks for football. And it'll be great. We'll help our audience do our thing. And by the way, speaking of audience, I have to talk about this Cloudwater. Cloudwater, we're promoting it. Mark and Barry are the owners. This is unbelievable, this seltzer. This stuff is, you can mix it with tequila. You can do anything with it. It's very healthy for you. I can't believe I'm drinking it, but it is so good. And you can find it online, cloudwaterbrands.com. That's cloudwaterbrands.com. Find out where it is. It's everywhere, Amazon, in your local store, but it is a keeper. And by the way, you get the friends and family discount. Just put in FatFish20. You put in FatFish20, you get a discount. I'm telling you, Cloudwater Brands. Check it out. It's delicious.
It is. Great.
I heard work was pretty good last night for you,
Yeah,
buddy.
we're picking up. It was busy. Good night.
Oh,
Like I said, you do this so long, and people say, "How can you do this so long?" And I met a lot of new people and had great conversations last night, and it was just fun. We're talking. You don't talk politics and religion, but we talked everything, music. Um, there's a band that you and I listened to when we were younger. You remember the Grassroots, Temptation Eyes and some of the 60s. There's like 60s medley of Herman's Hermits, Temptation Eyes. Our boy Tony Orlando comes on with Candida, right? I'm because I have a Cox mix of 60s songs, and I hear people saying that stuff's great. I go, we got a chance, Brad and I got a chance to listen to that good stuff when it came out. So good night last night. A lot of fun.
So when you're behind the bar, you play the music depending on what you're feeling, or does
I
the
get
owner
I
play
get
yours?
5 choices. I got classic rock, I have alternative music, I get the 70s, 80s, 90s, and then like an oldies.
Yeah,
Because in my business, you never want to give the customer control of the music. You get a jukebox that leads the fights. Because let's say
right,
you're a Tony Orlando fan, you load up all the Tony Orlando 17, 19 greatest #1 hits. But
right.
that means everyone else can't hear what they want to hear. So it's a problem. If you have a jukebox, you'd be surprised how many fist fights happen over jukebox in bars.
Unbelievable
Seen
over
it.
music.
You want to hear my great line? You go with a great story? I'll
Yeah.
never forget. I was working at a bar and a Bruno Mars song's on, and some fucking hick walks in and goes, "Who's playing this shit?" And the guy stands and goes, "I am." And they start fist fighting, and we get him outside. And I said, "You know
Oh,
what? You fucking guys just got 86th over a Bruno Mars song, and I guarantee you, he's not giving you $1 of those royalties."
yeah.
When he get, am I
What
right?
the fuck? That's crazy.
It
Come on,
happens.
over a fucking song.
Drunk.
Shucks Tavern, by the way, Shucks Tavern is
Love
so
it.
good. I love when I come into town. I always go. I hang out with you at 3 o'clock in the morning. There we go. 24 hours. Such good food is so good. The bartender, he's not so good, but everything else is good at Shucks. The owners did right. They hired you, Fish. Unbelievable. You're a great bartender. Fuck Tom Cruise and Cocktail or Woody on Cheers. You got what you have it, man. I mean, the gift of gab, you keep people happy, you keep people spending money and drinking. I
Hope
mean,
so.
no, you
The
do.
whole staff
I'm
there. That it's an art. And every bartender you've had on from other joints, but from the bars in my neighborhood, um, it's every bar has 15 machines, okay, and it's the food, it's the people, the staff at Shucks is unreal.
yeah,
I'm biased, but I had my choice to go places when I retired from managing, and the staff there, it's like I have every bartender there is like Joe Montana, or Patrick
yeah.
Mahomes. And I know I'm kissing ass, but it's true.
No.
Every bartender that works in every establishment has their own niche,
Yeah,
right? I'm gonna go see Fish because he's an idiot. I want to see the girls because they're beautiful and they're funny. I want to see
right,
this guy because we can talk about anime or something like that. And
right.
if you were there, and I always said this, everybody, let me get rid of Shucks. Brad Grunberg, if I was a headhunter, Brad Grunberg's the best prospect to be a bartender I've ever seen because you have patience for people, which you need, and you're funny, right? And you make so much money. And guess what? You would actually meet a girl in the bar, right? Not have to pay for it. They're gonna wait till you get off in the morning.
Buddy, you
Imagine
just
you
went
working
over.
graveyard, you got up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and some girl, maybe semi-attractive, who cares? What do you look, it is what it is. You take a girl home at 8 o'clock in the morning, make tips, and then go home, and she's gonna cook for you after you make love to her. So you made money. This is the Jewish triangle. You made money, right? You made food. You made nookie with the girl, and then she cooked for you. You're
Oh,
in. That's any religion triangle.
I gotta find a girl, but I could do it at Chuck's. You think I could do it at
Any
Chuck's
bar.
when I
Hey,
come in?
Brad shit.
All right. But you're
Brad
my
walks into
pimp.
Chuck's for doing a
You're
project there, and
my
he's throwing
pimp, man.
20s
You
at all the
find me
staff.
yeah. You find me a
Remember
nice
that?
girl. Find me. I just want a girl that laughs at my jokes, and she's just chill, man. Just I just want to have a
You
good
know, who
time.
laughs at your jokes and is chill, who's brilliant.
Yeah,
And God bless if your mother Sandy, because you're blessed to have your parents. And
I
think
am.
about your mothers. It
Yeah,
just was Mother's Day last Sunday, and why there's this great line. I think Rob McEwen, the poet, said it. The reason why we love our mothers so much is because they were our first love. We
it's
crawled
true.
out and they nurtured us, they suckled, and you love your mother. And Brad, I guarantee you. I know this. This is not just banter and wasting time. Your mother loves you because you're a good person and you take care of her. And what do you always? The greatest thing you ever say in this podcast is, "They gave me life. Now I'm paying back."
Yep. That's what I told them, and that's what I do. And there's not one day that goes by that I'm not thinking, how blessed am I? I still have my parents, and they're relatively healthy, and we laugh together, and we cry together, and we do everything together. But it's interesting.
Enjoy
I
it.
have to say, being totally transparent, it's tough to see your parents get older, because the things that they did like that, I'm doing for them now. And I just count my blessings every day. How I live my life now: positivity and love, baby.
Always.
Every day. That's it.
And you have a tough life, and you bring me up like I can't. And you're that. You could look. You could be a bartender, because part of bartending is therapy. People come to you with their problems. 3 shout outs, and then you take us at her, and then you expound on the shout outs. Keep Berman, we love you. Get better. Molly's challenge.
Yes.
Quit teenage bullying. And then the Nick Pasquale Foundation, October 11th down in San Clemente. We're probably going to get finance to go down there, Brad and I. And a golf tournament which raises money to put kids through college. That's the 3 things we're working on right now. Brad, take us away.
Keith, we're thinking about you, buddy. You're going to get well. We're going to party, baby, like it's 1999 or 2024. We love you. Well, 61 is in the books, and that is Eric the Fish Schneider. I love the guy. We had John Hardison, Hardline. He's going to come back and give us some picks for the football season. And I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks. We'll see you next time on number 62, Fat Fish Podcast. Dave Linden, take us away.
You've been listening to the Fat Fish Podcast, heard on all your favorite platforms. Until next time.
Yay!